Imagine a warrior so fierce, so skilled, that his very name strikes fear into the hearts of his enemies. A man who could turn the tide of battle with a single command, and whose legacy would echo through the ages. Welcome to the incredible story of Khalid ibn al-Walid, a commander whose brilliance on the battlefield earned him the title, the Sword of Allah. But what led this man from the ranks of the Quraysh to become one of Islam's most celebrated heroes? Join us as we explore his extraordinary life, his legendary battles, and the unwavering faith that drove him to greatness. Let's dive in. Khalid ibn al-Walid was born around 592 CE into the powerful Makhzum clan of the Quraysh tribe in Mecca. His family was known for wealth, influence, and above all, mastery of warfare. In a society where survival depended on strength and strategy, Khalid was raised in an environment that valued courage, horsemanship, and tactical intelligence. From an early age, he was trained not just to fight, but to think. The desert was his classroom. Its harsh conditions forged endurance, patience, and discipline. Around him, experienced warriors analyzed tribal conflicts and recounted past battles, discussing tactics and lessons learned. Khalid absorbed these conversations carefully. By adulthood, he was already recognized not only for physical strength, but for sharp strategic instinct. He could read terrain quickly, he could anticipate enemy movements, and perhaps most importantly, he remained calm under pressure. At this stage of his life, Khalid stood firmly against Islam. The message of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was spreading in Mecca, challenging the traditional structure of Quraysh authority. To Khalid, loyal to his tribe and its leadership, this movement appeared to threaten the balance of power in Arabia. He believed opposing it was his responsibility. His military brilliance first became widely known at the Battle of Uhud in 625 CE. The Muslims initially gained the upper hand in the battle. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had positioned a group of archers on a strategic hill with strict instructions not to abandon their post under any circumstances. Their role was critical: protect the rear of the army and prevent a cavalry attack. However, during the course of the battle, a number of those archers left their assigned position. It was a serious mistake, one that occurred despite the clear and repeated orders of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Their departure created a vulnerable opening in the Muslim defensive line. Khalid, who was commanding the Quraysh cavalry, immediately recognized the opportunity. He led a swift and decisive maneuver around the hill and attacked from behind. The sudden assault threw the Muslim ranks into confusion and reversed the momentum of the battle. It was a striking example of Khalid's battlefield awareness, his ability to observe, decide, and act within moments. Yet history was about to take an unexpected turn. Over the next few years, Arabia's political landscape shifted significantly. Islam continued to spread, not just in numbers, but in influence and discipline. The Treaty of Hudaybiyah in 628 CE, negotiated by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, demonstrated remarkable strategic patience. Although some initially viewed it as unfavorable, it ultimately strengthened the Muslim community and expanded its reach. Khalid observed these developments carefully. He began to see that Islam was not merely a political force. It was transforming people, reshaping loyalties, character, and identity. The unity and moral discipline of its followers left an impression on him. Gradually, he began to question his stance. In 629 CE, Khalid made a decision that would redefine his legacy. He traveled to Medina and declared his acceptance of Islam before Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The Prophet, peace be upon him, welcomed him with warmth and dignity, recognizing both his sincerity and his immense potential. From that moment, Khalid's talents were redirected. Soon after his conversion came the Battle of Mu'tah in 629 CE. A Muslim force of approximately 3,000 soldiers faced a much larger Byzantine army. During the battle, the appointed commanders were martyred one after another, leaving the army vulnerable to collapse. At that critical moment, Khalid assumed command. With remarkable composure, he reorganized the troops. During the night, he rotated units, changed banners, and adjusted formations to create the impression that reinforcements had arrived. The following day, he executed a disciplined and strategic withdrawal, preserving the majority of the army against overwhelming odds. What could have ended in disaster became a tactical survival. Upon hearing of his leadership, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, granted him the title Saifullah, the Sword of Allah. It was a title that acknowledged both his skill and his new role in defending the Muslim community. In 630 CE, during the peaceful conquest of Mecca, led by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, Khalid played a significant role in securing the city and neutralizing resistance. The event marked a historic transformation of Arabia. For Khalid, it symbolized the completion of his personal transformation from opponent to protector. After the passing of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in 632 CE, the Muslim community faced internal rebellions known as the Ridda Wars. Several tribes attempted to break away or refused obligations that had unified Arabia. Under the leadership of Caliph Abu Bakr, Khalid was sent to confront these uprisings. One of the most intense battles occurred at Yamama against Musaylima, who claimed prophethood. The fighting was fierce and costly. At a critical stage, the Muslim forces faltered. Khalid responded by reorganizing the army into cohesive tribal units to strengthen morale and coordination. The adjustment proved decisive. Musaylima was defeated, and the rebellion collapsed. Arabia was unified once again. With internal stability restored, attention turned toward the powerful Byzantine and Sasanian empires. Khalid was first dispatched to Iraq to confront Persian forces. There, he demonstrated exceptional mobility and strategic speed, conducting rapid campaigns across difficult desert terrain. His forces often appeared where least expected, destabilizing stronger and more established armies. One of his most remarkable achievements followed. When Muslim forces in Syria were under heavy Byzantine pressure, Khalid undertook a daring desert march from Iraq to Syria, across a harsh and largely uncharted route. The journey required precise calculation of water supplies and strict discipline. A single error could have resulted in catastrophe. Instead, his army emerged unexpectedly, shifting the balance of power. Then came the Battle of Yarmouk in 636 CE. The Muslim army faced a significantly larger Byzantine force. Although overall command belonged to Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah, Khalid directed much of the tactical maneuvering, particularly the cavalry operations. He established a highly mobile guard unit capable of reinforcing weak points and launching rapid counterattacks. Over several days of intense fighting, shifting winds and dust storms added to the chaos. Khalid's adaptability proved decisive. A final coordinated cavalry assault broke the Byzantine flanks and drove their forces toward the ravines near the Yarmouk River. The victory permanently weakened Byzantine control in Syria and reshaped the region's political future. Despite his extraordinary record, Khalid's career took another unexpected turn. Caliph Umar ibn al-Khattab removed him from overall command. The decision was not based on failure, but on principle. Umar sought to ensure that victories were attributed to faith and collective effort rather than to one individual alone. Khalid accepted the decision without protest. He continued to serve loyally under other commanders, demonstrating humility and commitment to the cause above personal rank. In later campaigns, including the siege of Damascus and further operations in Syria, his expertise remained invaluable. Whether facing fortified cities or open field battles, he adapted with precision. His soldiers trusted his judgment because it had been tested repeatedly under extreme pressure. Throughout his life, Khalid fought in numerous battles. Yet near the end of his life, he is reported to have reflected that despite facing death so many times on the battlefield, he bore no fatal wound that granted martyrdom. Instead, he passed away around 642 or 643 CE in Homs, Syria, reportedly in his bed. For a commander who had lived by the sword, it was an unexpected end. But his legacy did not depend on how he died. Khalid ibn al-Walid's life is a powerful example of transformation, resilience, and disciplined leadership. He began as one of Islam's most capable opponents and became one of its most formidable defenders. His campaigns against two dominant empires reshaped the political landscape of the region and accelerated the rise of a new civilization. His title, the Sword of Allah, reflects both strength and faith, skill guided by conviction. Even centuries later, his name evokes images of calculated cavalry maneuvers, daring desert crossings, and leadership under overwhelming odds. Military historians continue to study his mobility tactics and battlefield adaptability. Beyond strategy and warfare, his life carries a deeper lesson. Conviction can redirect talent. Humility can coexist with greatness. And one individual, guided by purpose, can alter the course of history. From the deserts of Arabia to the plains of Syria, Khalid ibn al-Walid remains one of history's most remarkable military commanders, a figure whose story continues to inspire reflection on leadership, faith, and responsibility.